Have you ever wondered what happened to the magic of Silicon Valley? That legendary place where college dropouts in garages became billionaires, and a single good idea could change the world. It was the epicenter of innovation, the American dream on steroids. But lately, something feels different. The headlines are less about groundbreaking tech and more about layoffs, scandals, and a sense of disillusionment. Is the golden era of Silicon Valley over? Today, we're going on a journey to explore the incredible rise and the complicated, perhaps even troubling fall of America's tech empire. Let's rewind the clock. The story of Silicon Valley didn't start with iPhones and social media. It began in the mid-20th century, fueled by Stanford University, military funding, and a handful of brilliant minds. Think of people like William Shockley, who co-invented the transistor, the tiny switch that is the bedrock of all modern electronics. He set up shop in what was then a valley of fruit orchards. While Shockley himself was a difficult personality, 8 of his brightest employees, famously dubbed the Traitorous Eight, left to start their own company, Fairchild Semiconductor. They took complex technology and made it accessible, personal. This era wasn't just about hardware, it was about a new philosophy. The Whole Earth Catalog, a counterculture magazine, famously influenced Steve Jobs with its message of self-sufficiency and empowerment through tools. The early pioneers saw computers not just as machines, but as bicycles for the mind, tools to liberate and empower individuals. This idealistic spirit, combined with venture capital, created a perfect storm of innovation. Companies like Apple, Microsoft, and Oracle weren't just building products, they were building a new world. Then came the dot-com boom of the late 90s. The internet went mainstream and it felt like a gold rush. Money was flowing like water. Any company with a e-com in its name seemed destined for $1 billion valuation. Pets, Com, Webvan, remember them? It was a time of wild optimism and even wilder spending. Of course, we all know how that ended. The bubble burst spectacularly in the early 2000s, wiping out fortunes and leaving a trail of failed startups. For a moment, it seemed like the dream was over. But this was Silicon Valley. A crash wasn't an ending, it was a reset. The infrastructure had been built, and a whole generation had come online. The stage was set for a new kind of giant. Enter Web 2.0. This wasn't just about putting information online, it was about connecting people. Google, which had survived the crash, organized the world's information. Then came Facebook, connecting our social lives. YouTube, connecting us through video. Twitter, through short messages, and the iPhone, released in 2007, put all of it into our pockets. This was the true golden age. The world felt smaller, more connected. These platforms were hailed as forces for democracy and global community. Silicon Valley wasn't just a place anymore. It was a global ideology promising a better, more connected future for everyone. The founders of these companies were our new heroes, modern-day titans of industry. So, if everything was so great, where did it all go wrong? The cracks started to show slowly, then all at once. The mantra, move fast and break things, started to feel less like a call for innovation and more like a justification for recklessness. We began to see the dark side of all that connection. Privacy scandals like Cambridge Analytica revealed how our personal data was being exploited. We saw how platforms designed to connect us could also be used to spread misinformation and sow division. The focus shifted from building amazing products to a relentless quest for engagement, often at the expense of user well-being. The utopian dream began to look more and more like a dystopian reality, controlled by a handful of immensely powerful companies. The culture also started to change. The scrappy, idealistic hackers were replaced by a new class of tech bros, more interested in optimizing ad revenue and disrupting laundry than in changing the world for the better. The cost of living in the Bay Area skyrocketed, pushing out artists, teachers, and even the families of the very engineers building the tech. The region became a symbol of staggering inequality, with homeless encampments sitting in the shadow of gleaming corporate campuses. The magic was fading, replaced by a sense of corporate greed and social disconnect. The very place that promised to build a better future was struggling to solve the problems in its own backyard. And that brings us to today. The pandemic accelerated a trend that was already beginning: the Great Dispersal. If you can work from anywhere, why pay a fortune to live in a crowded, expensive city? Tech workers and even some companies have been leaving California for places like Austin, Miami, and Denver. The recent wave of mass layoffs at Meta, Google, Amazon, and others has shattered the myth of lifetime job security in tech. The industry is facing a reality check. The era of infinite growth and easy money seems to be over, replaced by a focus on profitability and, frankly, a bit of an identity crisis. The big question now is, what is the next big thing? For the first time in a long time, the answer doesn't seem to be coming from a garage in Palo Alto. So, is Silicon Valley really dead? Not exactly. It's still home to an incredible concentration of talent, capital, and world-leading universities. It will undoubtedly continue to be a major player in technology. But its reign as the undisputed, singular center of the tech universe is likely over. The empire is decentralizing. The fall of Silicon Valley isn't a collapse into ruin, but a transformation. It's a humbling moment for a region that has been on top for so long. The rest of the world has caught up. Innovation is now happening everywhere. Perhaps this isn't a fall, but a diffusion of the original dream. The tools and ideas born in Silicon Valley have now spread globally, empowering new hubs of creativity and innovation all over the planet. The story is no longer just America's tech empire. It's a global tech story, and its next chapter is still being written. What do you think? Is the magic gone for good, or is this just the end of one chapter and the beginning of another? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.